Hey guys, Taylor and Annie here with Fit People. We're here with Brandon Slocum. He's going to share his story with us. He's been with us about a year now, I guess. So a lot of success, a lot of hard work, a lot of patience in this whole time. But thank you, Brandon, for.
All right, Brandon, so tell us a little bit about your background before you started working out at Fit People.
So I guess probably around 2010 is when I started taking running a little more seriously. That was the main fitness activity I did. So I got up to maybe about 30 miles a week at a given time, 20, 30 miles. And it just, the wear and tear started hitting on my body. And so I started having some back issues, some hip issues. I really couldn't pinpoint if it was form or whatever. So I was trying massage therapy, PT, that sort of thing. But eventually had to kind of give up those goals as full time, and then tried to figigure out how best to fix that. So tried to add some gym to it in a different setting, but with chiropractor every once in a while. We did some physical therapy, ended up with, I guess, 2 bulging discs because of it. And so I never could really get back anything more than a few miles, and I was having the pain down my leg and in my back. And so when you go to bed, when you wake up, just pretty consistent pain. And so then Sherry Thomas actually was having similar back problems and was coming here to Fit People. So that's how I ended up here.
Okay, so like Taylor said, it's been about a year, a little over a year. When you started working out here, what were your goals? Like what, I mean, obviously to be pain-free, but what were you hoping
Well, I
to
definitely
achieve?
wanted to see about trying to be able to be fit, do things athletically, but not hurt my back.
Right.
And so I wanted to be able to do that, but I also wanted to get back into running. I missed running. I wanted to get out there and run more than a couple of miles at a time. And so I think that was my initial goal was those first couple of months is just getting used to working out in a consistent way with weights and other strength type training, but still keeping the cardio with the running.
Yeah.
Were there any fears, concerns? What was your experience when you started with Fit People?
Well, I had never lifted at all. So like when I came in and you said a hang clean and a splinter, I didn't even know what those things were. So I was completely clueless. But it was the environment. I was able to come in and learn those things. It wasn't a threatening environment where I felt like I was stupid and couldn't do it.
Right.
And so you really broke it down, showed me the right form. There are things that I was afraid to do, especially in the beginning with my back, and we kind of modified those things, and it worked well. And then I eventually got to where I was doing these moves that I never thought that I'd be able to do with my back, pain-free.
Yeah. And I think you had the goal when you had that race of shortly after.
Yeah,
4 months after?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months after I started.
Right.
And then we worked, and he worked with me on a running plan.
Right.
So I guess it was maybe a 6-week training plan, so it was pretty compressed. And I just had to kind of trust the process because it was a different process than what I had been training under before. And so I just went out and tried to hit the goals and hit the paces and hit the miles that you wanted me to hit. And I ended up PR in the race, which was my goal. A 16-second PR, so not a huge one, but I was able to
right?
a 10K.
Yeah,
But it was really good to be back toeing the starting line, going through the finish line, because I had not been able to do that in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So after that 10K, what was the goal from there? Were we trying to run a little bit more after that?
So I think at that point, which was probably part of my problem, is that not that complacent, because I was still coming at that point 3 days a week, but I didn't really have a goal. And so for me, it works better when I have a goal. Like I knew I wanted to hit the race, but then I didn't know what was next. And so I know we had the assessment maybe a couple months after that, and not much had changed because not much had changed with what I was doing. And so that's when we kind of had another talk and changed things up. I started 5 days and kind of changed my goals a little bit to do more, because I wanted more lean tissue to try to get stronger. Because at that point, that became what my goal was. Still able to run and still enjoy that, but I guess just changed what my focus was.
Right. Did you feel like you had a big fall off with your runs or anything like that? Did you feel like you suffered because of that, or did you feel stronger during your runs? How did you feel?
I was able to. I could see the difference in the power, or how I could run, and even the speed. Maybe shorter distances, but it seemed like I could hit the paces easier,
Right.
Even with less running. Because
Right.
at that point I wasn't doing as much running, mostly just running on the weekends and a few laps, or pretty low mileage during the week.
Right.
But was able to do that still and get, I think, better results and feel better about what I was doing during the week with the more lifting.
Right. I mean, you added 12% of lean tissue in just a little over a year. You dropped 30% in your body fat, so 7.5 pounds down, 14 pounds up in lean tissue, and you got your body fat down to 10.6%. And I know that how hard it is to get to 10%, and you were able to do it. And a lot of that too was not only the hard work that you had, but we set the macro goals, and we set the nutritional plan for you. And I guess talk a little bit about that and how that helped you, and what we did going forward with the increase of 2 days, and then adjustment in the nutritional plan accordingly.
Well, I think that was a big piece, was the nutrition, because at that time, I think what we did is I was eating too many carbs, not enough protein, not enough fat. It was counterintuitive to eat more fat, so it didn't really make sense. But again, if you tell me this is what I need to do, give me that instructions to follow, and so it became a challenge. So I wanted my macros to match exactly what you had set my goals at, and so I did have to eat more fats and proteins. And initially, we started lifting more, and so then I did have an increase in weight, and maybe even a slight increase in the fat in the very beginning as we were adjusting, but then I soon started seeing that go in the right direction.
Yeah.
So consistently, we've tweaked it a couple of times with the way things have gone, but overall, I feel like I've got to be motivated to do it, but I'm getting the results, so that's what's keeping me motivated.
Right.
But it's a challenge, and I like that challenge. I like that piece of it.
Yeah.
But that's what helps me, because even on certain days, like if it's go lift a certain weight, when you tell me which weight, that's what helps me. Y'all as trainers, but then also the other people that we work out with,
Mm-hmm.
because it's accountability partners where you're sitting there, and I think we push each other. You all push us, and I think that's what makes it work.
Right.
Yeah.
I thank y'all for, I guess, providing an environment that we can do that in, so we can come in and you keep us motivated, you keep challenging us. Yeah, I do it for my family, I do it for me. I want to please you, I want to do it for you too. So I think all of those pieces together, it really makes us be able to achieve those goals that we want to.
Yeah.
I think the why is greater than your excuses. I know you say that a lot, and I think that's hit home with me. It's the reason why I do it is more important than all the excuses, because I don't want to get up at 4:30 in the morning all the time. But I know if I don't, then I'm going to regret it. And so I keep doing it, because I know there are other people here that are, we can hold each other accountable and work harder when we're together.
Yeah.
And I think all together, that's what's made me in the best shape of my life.
So if you had, just to close, if you had a piece of advice for someone who was thinking about starting to work out, or maybe afraid to get their foot in the door, or start anywhere, not specifically here, but just to take that first step, what would be your piece of advice for them?
I think it's consistency and patience. I think you've got to keep doing it. You got to keep plugging away. It's not going to be instant. It wasn't for me. But whenever you start seeing the results, I think that that keeps you motivated. It maybe even raising the bar. It keeps me challenged. It keeps me coming back. But I think that you do have to be patient with that, because there's setbacks. Every once in a while I'll tweak something and have to go a little lighter or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's part of it. But overall, I'm stronger in the end because of everything that I've done to get to that point.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your story with everybody. And we're excited to see what you keep doing in the future.
Thanks, Brandon.